Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's write some more Leetcode today. Today we are solving valid parentheses. So the problem states that we are given a string S containing only the characters open parenthesis, close parentheses, open curly bracket, close curly bracket, open square bracket, and close square bracket, and we want to determine if the input string is valid. So an input string is valid if the open brackets must be closed by the same type of brackets. For example, an open parenthesis should be closed by a closed parenthesis and not a square bracket. And open brackets must be closed in the correct order, which means that whatever bracket is last opened should be first closed. And every closed bracket has a corresponding open bracket of the same type. If these three conditions are all met, then the input string is considered a valid parenthesis. So let's take a look at these examples. Example 1 is true because the open parenthesis is closed with the closed parentheses. Example 2 is also true because all the open brackets are closed with the correct type of brackets. Example 3 is false because the parentheses is closed with the square bracket and it should be a closed parenthesis. And example 4 is true because when we're here, the square bracket is the last open, and so we close the square bracket before we close it with a closing parentheses. So it also returned true. So how can we solve this problem? One way we can solve this problem is we can set up an empty stack in the beginning, and we can create this hash map where the keys are the closing brackets and the values are the opening brackets. So we can loop through this original string that we are given, and if this character is not in the hash map, then we add it to the stack. And if it is in the hash map, then we want to make sure that the character matches what's at the end of the stack. Whenever it doesn't, then we can return false. But if we have looped through the end of the string, then we want to check if the stack is empty or not. If the stack is empty, then we return true. Otherwise, we still return false. So let's go over this example. So we start S is not in a hash map, so we add it. And then we look at the next character. This character is also not in hash map, so we add it. Now we get to the next character. This character is in hash map. And what is the value? It's the opening square bracket. Does it match it? So it does match. So we can erase it from the stack. And if it doesn't match, then we return false. But for this example, it matches, so we erase it. Now we get to the final value. What does this closing parenthesis match with? The opening parenthesis. It matches, so we delete this item from the stack. So now that we have finished looping through the string, we check if the stack is empty. And the stack is empty, so for this example, we can return true. So if let's say the string was this, and then we would have finished with the stack looking like this. And since the stack is not empty, then we would have returned false. So the time complexity of this problem would be O of n, where n is the length of the string because we will have to loop through the string. And the space complexity will also be O of n because we created this stack, and this stack can take up to n characters. So now let's go over the coding part. So first, we will initialize an empty stack. So now we'll set up the hash map. So the close parentheses, the opening parentheses, the closing square bracket, opening square bracket, I'll fix that typo later, and the closing curly braces and the opening curly brace. So now we will loop through S. So for C in S, we'll say C stands for character. So for C in S, and if C is in the hash map, then we need to check the character compared to the last character in the stack and see if they match. So if stack and stack of -1 is equal to the hash map of C, if that is the case, then we need to pop the item from the stack.pop. And if that's not the case, then it's not a match, so we return false. Well, if C is not in hash map, then we need to add C to the stack. So else stack.append C. C. So now if we have finished the for loop, we can just return not stack because we want the stack to be empty. If it's empty, then return true. If not, it's false. Let's see if it works. Okay, perfect. Hope you guys find this helpful. I thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave in the comment section below, and I hope to see you all again soon.